I told you we were never going to kiss again. I heard you. I was there, remember? While I enjoy the hell out of kissing you, it's not mandatory for going to bed together. Admit it, he growled softly. You're tempted. I'm tempted to eat all the marshmallows out of a box of Lucky Charms, but that doesn't mean I intend to do it. Never? He challenged. Okay, she conceded. Maybe I did it once. Doesn't mean that was a smart thing to do. Then how about a kiss, just for a kiss's sake, so you can prove to me whatever we felt downstairs was a fluke? A fluke? Oh, she already knew what she'd felt, and it was real. That didn't mean she intended to jump into bed with a guy just because the kiss rocked her socks. Perhaps that was the lesson Mr. Have-It-All needed to learn. She could turn the tables, knock him off balance with a mind-numbing kiss, and show him she could, and would, still walk away. Excitement pooled low in her belly at the thought. She trailed her fingers along his forehead, over the eyebrow with a slash of a scar through it, then cupped his jaw in her hands. With slow deliberation, she took his bottom lip between her teeth, tugging before teasing her tongue along his mouth. His eyes glinted emerald sparks of desire, and then she didn't see anything. Her eyes closed. She sealed herself to him, her mouth, her chest, her hungry hands, and hungrier body. This kiss was different than the reserved connection on the balcony where there'd been the threat of interruption. Here, they were alone. She was free to explore the breadth of his shoulders, the flexing muscles in his arms, as he hauled her close. Her breasts pressed against the hard wall of his chest. Her nipples tightened to needy buds against him, hot and achy, yearning for the soothing stroke of his tongue. A tingling spread inside her, so intense it almost hurt. She wriggled to get even closer, shifting to sit on his lap, straddling him. And, oh my. She arched into him, against the rigid length of his arousal pressing so perfectly against her. A purr of pleasure clawed up her throat, echoed by his growl of approval. Apparently this was a language-optional make-out session. His hand slid from her hair, roved down her back, and slid under her bottom. In a fluid move, he flipped her onto her back and stretched over her on the sofa. The weight of him felt good, so very good, intensifying every pulsing sensation. The fabric of the sofa rubbed a sweet abrasion against her tingling nerves. She hooked a leg over his, throwing back her head as he kissed along her jaw and over to her ear. His hot breath caressed her skin with the promise of how good that mouth would feel all over her body. She tipped her face, shaking her hair back and giving him fuller access as he tugged on her earlobe with his teeth. In an out-of-control moment, she flung out an arm to steady herself. Her fingers clenched the coffee table, sending her full china cup clattering to the ground. Troy froze, then looked to the side sharply before sweeping his computer away from the spilled coffee. The rush of air along her overheated body brought a splash of much-needed reason. What the hell was she doing? She'd only just met the guy and already she'd kissed him twice. She'd wanted to show him how she could kiss and walk away, and she'd ended up beneath him. Gasping, she swung her feet back to the ground, her toes digging into the plush Persian cotton. The rush back to earth was slower than she expected. Her senses were still on tingling alert. Giving in to the temptation to kiss him hadn't been her best idea. She should be focused on the video feed, on finding Mr. Mystery Cohort as soon as... Squinting, she studied a far corner of the screen, just a hint of a flashy gold ring that looked familiar, with some kind of coin embedded at the top. The fog of passion parted enough for her to process what was right in front of her eyes. Troy? Hold on a second. She grabbed his shoulder. Her fingers curled instinctively around him for a second before she pulled back. What's wrong? He looked over his shoulder. On the TV, can you play with the image for me? There. She pointed to the top left corner as he righted his computer and sat again. Can you find a reflection of the face of that guy wearing the ugly gold ring? Of course I can. He dropped back onto the sofa with his laptop, his hair still askew from her frenzied fingers. She seriously needed to rein in her out-of-control emotions. She clenched her fists against the temptation to finger-comb his hair back into place.